Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a viral financial trend that is completely shaking up how people handle their everyday money. We're going to break this whole phenomenon down into clear, actionable insights so you can see exactly how it works, why it's so incredibly effective, and how you might actually use it in your own life.
So let's just kick things off with this absolutely staggering number, 3 billion. That's how many views this totally analog, super old-school budgeting method currently has over on TikTok. It's not some flashy new cryptocurrency, and it's definitely not an AI wealth management app. We are literally talking about paper and plastic binders. And guys, it is taking the personal finance world by storm. We're talking about cash stuffing. It's a method that's actively helping Gen Z and millennials fight back against economic uncertainty by literally ditching digital apps for physical cash. You know, in an era where a single tap on your phone can just drain your bank account before you even realize it, this system demands that you trade your glowing screen for a paper envelope. It's all about stopping digital overspending right in its tracks. Okay, let's look at our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll cover what cash stuffing actually is, why it works so well, a quick step-by-step guide, some common mistakes to avoid, and finally, we'll do a showdown between analog and digital budgeting.
All right, starting with Section 1. What exactly is cash stuffing, this viral analog budgeting method?
At its core, cash stuffing, which honestly has historically just been called envelope budgeting, is incredibly straightforward. You withdraw your monthly budget in physical cash, and then you divide it up into clearly labeled envelopes for different spending categories. But here is the real kicker. The rule is absolute. Once an envelope is empty, boom, zero spending in that category until next month. No borrowing from your grocery envelope to buy shoes, and definitely no swiping a backup credit card.
When you touch the cash, you feel the loss. This brilliantly hits the nail on the head. Physical friction creates this hyper-awareness that swiping a card or clicking a Buy Now button just totally bypasses. It's all about reassociating spending with a tangible loss of resources. Because when you hand over a crisp $20 bill, your brain registers that transaction in a way that an invisible, frictionless digital transfer simply doesn't trigger. Moving on to Section 2, why it works. Let's look at the psychology and the viral appeal of this whole thing.
So, why is everyone obsessed? Well, it's this fascinating mix of sensory appeal and practical psychology. First off, there's the incredibly satisfying ASMR of counting physical bills. I mean, who knew the sound of paper money would be the hottest soundtrack of the year, right? But on a really practical level, it gamifies budgeting with customizable binders and stickers. Financial platforms like Investopedia and WalletHub note that it creates hard visual boundaries that actively fight digital overspending. Plus, in a world where our data gets harvested constantly, this method gives you tangible control. It's 100% private, it's tech-free, and it's an amazing defense against living paycheck to paycheck.
Which brings us to Section 3, the step-by-step guide on how you can start stuffing today. Here's your overarching 6-step process to get rolling. Now, before you even touch any physical cash, step 1 is setting a strict budget. Following guidelines from places like Fidelity, this means tracking your income and ruthlessly separating your absolute needs from your wants. You really have to know exactly how much money is coming in before you can decide which envelopes it needs to go into. For step 2, creating categories, honestly, less is more. Financial experts from Good Morning America recommend starting with just 5 to 8 flexible spending categories. We're talking things like groceries, dining out, gas, entertainment, and a little fun money. But please keep this in mind. This system is really just for your variable, day-to-day spending. Fixed bills like rent, your mortgage, or your car insurance, those should definitely stay safely in your bank account on autopay.
Jumping into step 3, gathering your supplies. Don't let those elaborate, aesthetically pleasing TikTok setups fool you. ABC News confirms that you fundamentally do not need fancy tools to make this work. You don't need a $50 custom leather binder to save money. Honestly, standard paper envelopes and a pen will get the job done. That said, using laminated, reusable envelopes or fun tracking stickers can definitely add that element of gamification. And for a lot of people, that's exactly what keeps them motivated to stick with the system long term. Bringing it back to our main process for steps 4 through 6. On payday, you withdraw the designated cash and literally, physically assign it to each envelope. Business Insider made a great point about this step. You're physically watching your money get organized and put to work, rather than just aimlessly swiping as you go about your week. Finally, you track what's left at the end of the week, and you adjust your budget for the next month based on your actual real-world spending habits.
All right, let's jump to Section 4, common mistakes to avoid and the biggest beginner pitfalls. Before you run off to the ATM, let's talk about the traps. The crucial point here is managing your daily risk. You should absolutely never carry all your envelopes everywhere you go. If you're going to the grocery store, you only take the grocery envelope. Leave the rest safely at home. You also want to avoid overcomplicating things by creating too many categories. Keep it under 8. And perhaps most importantly, you really need to give yourself a full 2 to 3 months to build the habit before deciding if the system is right for you. Don't give up too soon.
Section 5. It's analog versus digital, the budgeting showdown. So let's pit these two directly against each other. While cash absolutely excels at giving you physical control, completely stopping impulse buys, and maintaining extremely high privacy, it does struggle massively in other areas. Digital apps totally dominate when it comes to automated tracking and the sheer ease of online shopping, something that physical cash just simply cannot do efficiently. Because of those distinct pros and cons, the consensus really leans toward a middle ground. WalletHub notes that there are virtual stuffing options popping up now, but honestly, the ultimate power move is a hybrid solution. You use physical cash stuffing for your flexible, everyday spending where you really need that impulse control, and you rely on digital apps for fixed bills, your long-term savings, and of course, online shopping. It's literally the best of both worlds. Let's look at Section 6, Real Results in the 30-Day Impact. The visual control of watching my cash disappear was mind-blowing. I love this quote because it completely encapsulates the experience for so many people. Users consistently report successfully building up their savings, drastically cutting down on those sneaky variable expenses like dining out, aggressively paying down debt, and honestly, for the first time in their lives, knowing exactly where every single dollar is going. The sheer visual control of watching that stack of cash deplete completely rewires how you view a purchase. As Business Insider points out, relentless economic factors like inflation are forcing all of us to critically rethink our personal finances. The solutions that worked a decade ago might not be the solutions we need tomorrow. So what is your biggest budgeting struggle? And knowing what you know now about the deep psychology of spending, what's holding you back from taking tactile, analog control of your wealth and finally trading your screen for an envelope? Thank you so much for exploring this explainer with me today.